Is it start?
I guess ICF to me is like a home away from home, but not in the same sense that Wellesley is a home away from home. It's like a place where I can go to and know that the people there share the same values that I do, that we share similar love for Christ, and we want to study the Bible together, study scripture, and get to know Christ more and grow together. Go and grow, right? So to me, ICF is like that space where I can go and be loved upon and love on my brothers and sisters and grow in my relationship to Christ and also learn what it is to serve Christ.
I think it's just been a place for me to feel completely comfortable going into, being able to open up to the people there, being able to really just present myself as I am, and that's like completely broken, completely messed up, to the people there, and feel loved and be able to realize like this love isn't coming straight from them, right? There's an actual source from it, and I think to recognize that source all the time, like it gives me that fuel to realize like why I'm here, not just in ICF but also in Bentley or in Massachusetts.
It's like I remember like last semester, like we always talk about Christianity, like their dinner table or something. It's not just Christianity, probably like religion, just like normal talk. Like what does that mean to me, and what do you think about that? Like there's just a lot of discussion going on, and the discussion makes me to think more about myself.
Coming to ICF my sophomore year just really helped me reevaluate my faith and kind of get that type of experience. And so I think the fact that, I went to retreat, got to know a lot of people a lot closer, really is valuable.
I guess like when I started going to ICF, it kind of is, it's a fellowship where I can find elder sisters and where I can seek refuge and where I can seek, it's kind of the feeling of home parenting, and that's what it feels like to me.
Now I'm a senior. I think the highlight for ICF for this year is really retreat. So at the retreat, I was with many of the seniors at Wellesley who I've known them since first year, especially Elizabeth, Shan, Emily. And then I just think how special it is to be with these girls for the past 4 years and then continue to be in a growing relationship with them. And I just, at that time at the retreat, when we were taking pictures, when we were sitting side by side playing a game, I was just so full of thankfulness for God to place these people in my life. And I'm just so grateful to be with them and to see them and to see how we've become closer after these years. And they're really special people in my life.
I guess the biggest change that being in ICF has made in my life is really molding my worldview and transforming it from a worldview that was previously was very me-centered, and moving that to a worldview that was more God-centered.
I think it really taught me how important and how impactful intentionality is. I really learned how to kind of be more meaningful in my time with people and not take a moment or a relationship for granted.
I think just in general, cherish the time that you have in college, in ICF, and not get too caught up in what's happening right away, all the schoolwork that you need to do, everything that is due that's coming up. I often struggle with looking far enough ahead and getting really caught up in what's happening right in front of me. But I think as my college years went by, I started to spend more time with people and building more intentional relationships. because I feel like ultimately when you leave school, the connections that you make and the relationships that you've built is what's going to help sustain you.
I first learned through ICF and through like prayer meetings on campus when I was a sophomore, or through talking to people that there are a lot of steps that one can take as an individual to grow their faith. And I think I didn't realize that fully. I think it's, if I subscribe to this activity or this faith, and then I will sort of be a part of all the good things that come with being a Christian. And so as long as I just sort of make that effort, then everything will fall into place. But ICF kind of shows that, well, okay, while it is our own decisions and our own choices to connect with God, like, we aren't alone in that. And there's so much that people can pass on to each other, but in a way that it's like, I'm not the only person that's going to teach you all these great things about who is God and what we're here to do, but I'm just going to try to help you, and I'm going to fail at it too, but it's not, because it's not coming from me, it's going to come from God. And so that kind of network of people who aren't the sole person to point each other to God, but use, like, every person has a part in someone else's I think relationship with God too. So that, like, network, that is really what ICF is to me. Yeah.
I see people who like come to ICF and really, as a first year and a sophomore, I see them have grown in their faith and their friendship. I think, I guess I just want to tell them that ICF is such a special place. Like, the connections you made here, this group of people you encounter here is probably something that you would not see again, like, after you graduate. I mean, of course you still have Garrels, but sometimes people leave, you go to a different place, and to have this group of peers around you and, like, loving you and supporting you, I think is something that's very, very special in your college years.
Well, I guess I'd just like to say I really appreciate everyone who has gone before me, all the upperclassmen that I was with in ICF with as a freshman, as a sophomore, and as a junior. Those people really really played some major roles in shaping my worldview and my faith. And I'd also like to thank all the underclassmen who are going to. I'd also like to thank all the underclassmen as well for just being being a source of encouragement for me, and seeing how my ministry has impacted other people.
College is most definitely for academics, but at the same time, like, I would say that coming out of school, you're gonna remember the times where you were actually with people, that you were intentional with people, like one-on-ones or in group settings. You're gonna remember those times more than you can remember the time that you were slaving away, studying for exam, pulling all-nighters. And I think that's something that I've seen at ICF that people, definitely really value, and I'm not questioning that at all. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I've definitely let it see them, like, kind of consume them and take them away from time at ICF. And for me, I would just say that every time at ICF, like, it's not wasted, like, time, in fellowship, time with each other, time building each other up, encouraging each other, ultimately time you're devoting to God. It's not wasted time. You're never going to look back at that time and say, I wish I did spend that hour, going to ICF, and I wish I spent it on a paper, I wish I spent it studying, or I wish I spent it sleeping.
So even if on Fridays you're tired and you don't want to go to ICF, or you just want to hang out with your friends, I think it's really important to consistently come to fellowship. just so that you're surrounded with people who have the same values and beliefs as you. It's very easy to get caught up in the college life. But I think if you love God and you pursue God, you'll find so much more peace and comfort in developing relationships that in the long run actually really matters to you spiritually and personally. I know, like, from experience, like it's really nice to feel wanted and to hang out with people you see every day. But like when you graduate, like those people may not be there. So it's so important to lay the foundation and to solidify relationships that you'll have in the long run. And I think those relationships revolve around Christ.
Maybe as a final word, I want to say to you, you are a leader, whether you think of yourself that way or not. But don't let that be, don't let that scare you, but let it be a challenge and let it excite you, because it's not, like, senior class is leaving, but there's a new senior class. Whatever year you are, you have an influence on the people within the fellowship, and as well as outside of it, within your family, and to the whole world. And you have a lot that you can do, so go out and do it.
Wanna shine a light for all to see. Gonna be a light to my culture. Gonna speak my love out loud.
That was
gonna shine a light for all
Robert to Boron.